What's going on, guys? Welcome to Arsenal Fan TV, and I honestly haven't got a clue how I'm going to be able to talk about that horrific result away to Chelsea at Stamford Bridge in a game where we needed the team to be on the top of their powers, and they just haven't done that at all. It's just such a demoralising defeat, and the manner that it came in, the lack of effort from some of the players in that game is just so hard to take. This was a game that I went into with an awful lot of optimism, and we've come out of it with absolutely nothing, and it's just humiliating. It's embarrassing, quite frankly, and I can't help but feel ashamed for a lot of those players that are on the pitch. I'm really hoping that they get the bollocking they deserve after that game, because there was just the lack of effort. It's just so, it's depressing, really. It's just, you know, as Arsenal fans, we go into these kind of games, I think, you know, in a way we shouldn't fear these games. I think it's a bit sad that, in fact, that some of us do go into these games with a bit of fear. I think we should absolutely relish the chance to go to Stamford Bridge and get 3 points against Chelsea, and it annoys me that, especially going into this game, on Wenger's 1000th game in charge of the club, that the players put in such little effort to try and do it. If you're not going to do it for the badge on your chest, at least do it for the man that got you in that team. It's just, you know, I'm seeing Mertesacker on Football Focus right before the game saying he wants to go there, get the 3 points, put in a good performance. Flamini's saying it, Gibbs is saying it, and just none of them showed any fight today. Maybe Jenkinson, at times Thomas Rosicky as well. They were about the only two players that I saw any raw passion from. At times Cazorla was maybe trying to drive out the pitch, but everyone, we just looked so tame of Chelsea. And to be fair, I think Wenger's got to take a little bit of responsibility for letting his players go out there in such a nervous state, because it's just not good enough. And this game, it didn't even start well, conceding 2 goals within 7 minutes, and the way they were conceded was just appalling. Making our own mistakes, it just isn't good enough. Giving the ball away in the middle of the park, Chamberlain was doing it, Cazorla was doing it, Arteta was doing it. It's just not good enough for professional footballers. They're on God knows how much a week, and they're giving the ball away, you know, when we're competing for the league title. And it is amazing how far we are off the likes of Chelsea, Liverpool and City. Yeah, we're up there with them, but when it comes to facing them, you know what, we're losing 6-3, we're losing 5-1, we're losing 6-0. We're Arsenal Football Club. This is embarrassing. It's not good enough. But after conceding those 2 goals, you'd at least think that the players would want to get back into the game. You know, 2-0 down, it's not impossible. There was still an awful lot of the game to play for. We could have at least got a draw. But, you know, in reality, you know, no player made the effort to try and get a goal. And in reality, the game was done in 7 minutes. It was done, and that's how you'd think we'd learn from our mistakes. After the maulings at City and Liverpool, you know, 12:45 kickoffs, what is going on in these kind of games? It's just ridiculous. I can't believe it's a recurring theme. We're Arsenal Football Club. We should not be losing in this manner. You can't honestly say that we're competing for the title when we're losing these kind of games. I think we've got to hold our hands up now and say the league's gone. It has. If it wasn't gone at Stoke, it's gone now, because, I'm sorry, but we're too far off these teams now. And even if we do win our remaining games, you can't see Chelsea, the way they're playing, slipping up. The amount of games City have got in hand. Liverpool, they just look unstoppable at the moment, and they're probably going to go off and beat Cardiff this afternoon. So it really doesn't look good at the moment. But relating back to the game itself, I mean, like I said, I thought we'd really show some drive after that, and then of course the penalty decision, the referee was shocking the whole game, to be honest, but I don't want to lay into him too much, because the refereeing decisions really don't compensate for quite how badly we played. I mean, it was just, the decision to send Gibbs off instead of Chamberlain was just ridiculous, especially after Chamberlain actually went up to the referee and said, look, it's me you've got to be sending off, not Gibbs. You know, I hope that's appealed, and I hope it's successful in that, because that was just unbelievable, to be honest. You can't be a professional referee and be sending off the wrong guy when you had a clear view of it as well. It's not good enough, to be honest, for a Mariner. But Hazard scored the penalty as you would expect. 3-0 down, went 4-0 down just before half time with a lovely goal by Oscar, and came out second half. Yeah, we were better, but we were 4-0 down. The game was over. Playing for pride, really. They went on. They scored another 2 goals. 6-0 down. Game over. You got the likes of Salah scoring against us. They've got a great guy in him and their side at Chelsea. But you know, Chelsea bringing on players like a testing match for them, like a training game at times, and it was always going to be hard with 10 men. But still, the lack of fight from the players. Giroud did very little again today. He had a chance to put us 1-0 up at the start and absolutely scuffed it. Could have been a totally different game had that gone in the back of the net. But Unfortunately it didn't, and we're still massively lacking up top. I know that we've had the likes of Ramsey, Wilshere, Walcott, Ozil in this game, but you would think the players that started that game really would be able to do something. Now we saw Koscielny go off as well. Really got to hope that he's not injured. I think he was slightly concussed, but I'm not 100% sure on that. So God forbid if we lose him, we are in big trouble. And we've got Swansea next, City next week. Swansea, we've got to put things right there. We've got to get the win. It's vitally important now, because at the end of the day, the teams behind us are catching up on us. United have had that great win over Olympiacos, so they're going to be absolutely buzzing off that. Tottenham, for all we know, they could come back into the frame of things. Everton are still up there, so we've just got to make sure that we really don't botch up fourth. Just get that. We've still got the FA Cup to play for, and just end this trophy drought. Just get it over and done with. I'd be more than happy with top four in the FA Cup. I've said that all along. But the manner of this defeat, I'm just finding it so hard to swallow, because all the Chelsea goals came from our own mistakes, just giving it away in the middle of the park, and these are professional footballers. I sometimes can't help but wonder who these players think they're playing for at times, because certainly half the time in these kind of games they're not playing for Arsenal Football Club. Their head just isn't in it. I mean, you look at our team 10 years ago, some of the players, imagine if they're watching it today. Imagine if you had the likes of Rocky Rocastle watching this, looking at that team, you know, the likes of Dennis Bergkamp, the likes of Henry watching that game. What are they going to make of that? We just lacked something in that game today, and we had no pace up top. Our only pace was with Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, and he was frankly very poor today. But not to use a scapegoat, because the whole team was very poor today. Like I said, only Jenkinson and Rosicky were the only two players that showed any real drive and passion for me. But it's a humiliating defeat. It's one that we've got to take. We've got to get over it. We've got a massive game at home to City next week. You know, if we could just get a draw there, that would be alright. And then we've got a nice run in after that, although we do have a very tough trip to Everton away, which certainly isn't going to be easy. So just got to make sure we get as many points as possible on the board. As you can see, I'm not overly happy. I think it's an absolutely shocking win today, and it's really hard to take any positives out of this one. And I would like to say that it's a learning curve for us, but frankly, it's not, because we've seen it all before. And it's just not looking good at the moment. It's the title gone, and it's hard to take, because you go into this game and you think, you know, if we beat Chelsea, we'll be 1 point behind them with a game in hand. If that's not an incentive, let alone Wenger's 1,000th game, to go in there and put in a world-class performance, then I don't know what is. And I'm quite worried, if I'm going to be honest, that we've really just got to focus, get our heads in the game, get top four. You know, we've got to win the FA Cup now, just end this drought, because it's going to be extremely tough next season. We've got to bolster in summer, because this squad is treading on thin ice at the moment. And you know, I could so easily be proved wrong with a win over City, but it just doesn't look that way at the moment. Our record against the big team just isn't good enough at the moment. Anyway, make sure to leave your thoughts on the game in the comments box below. If you have enjoyed the video, please hit the like button. I'm hoping and I'm praying that we can recover from this with a win against Swansea and then something against City, but as for now, I'm not too happy. And make sure you subscribe to Arsenal Fan TV, as well as my own channel, AFC Game by Game. Thanks for watching, guys.